Hey everybody, I'm trying something new here. I'm sending out kind of a quick update in video rather than schedule a meeting, so that way you don't have to block off a chunk of time or anything. Watch this as it's convenient for you, and then send me your feedback, input, questions, anything like that. As long as I have them by Wednesday morning at 9 a.m., we should be good. So just trying something different here. So this is kind of an update on Return to Learn and the diversity movement going on right now. So Return to Learn, we had our district Return to Learn group met last week, and we have another one coming up on Thursday, and so that's why Wednesday at 9 a.m. want feedback by then. But essentially, plans broken up into 3 chunks. Normal, kind of business as usual, continuous learning, and hybrid. Normal, I don't think needs a ton of explanation. That one, yes, with circumstances we might have to wear masks, social distancing, all that jazz. The hybrid plan is the one that probably most input. So this is one, if you have questions, thoughts, anything, send it my way. But essentially, we looked at, the modified scheduling, A week, B week, 2 days here, a day in between for cleaning, all that stuff, in between transportation, childcare, all the other things that you had to take into consideration. It was just a lot of moving parts and a lot of things to try and process. And so what Dr. Stutz shared is that there's quite a few superintendents just kind of taking the same approach now that we're looking at, and that is basically our hybrid plan is we are open, schools open, these are regular calendar, all that stuff, for all that are comfortable. Show up to school, wear a mask. We'll try and maintain social distance, and if you are not comfortable with that, if as a parent you're not okay sending your kid, then we will try and provide learning opportunities, whether that's recording the core lesson and sending that, or however that goes. That's kind of in general what the hybrid model would be. So we're open for everybody that's okay with it, and if you're not, here's some stuff that you can do. So that's kind of the hybrid model, and so that's the one that I would say if you have questions, thoughts, input, send it my way. Continuous learning, in talks with Sarah, kind of our process that we ended the spring with is what we would be looking to go forward with, and that's also with input from from Mindy and Bill with tech, kind of their thoughts on what works best age wise, and also kind of from overall systems and different things like that. So in general, we would use the grade level websites, which I do think we have some things. Bill said basically the version we were using is kind of like a basic, very entry level site, and there's some things that we can do to kind of beef those up a little bit. But in general, I thought teachers got pretty comfortable doing those, and so we would continue with those as kind of the format for content delivery if it's necessary, where we would take a similar approach, figure out what our core lessons will be, record those, and send them out. But we would use the sites again to send it out. We would use Seesaw for the students to share their learning, whether whatever activity it is that's kicked out. That's how students could respond. I think parents got pretty used to that, and it's something that they're comfortable using. The only change I would say for continuous is that we would look to use Zoom versus Meet. I think that we saw some of the limitations of using Google Meet versus Zoom and some of the additional features there. And in doing so, probably upping to a paid version. I don't know if that would be every teacher or by building. I don't know how that would be done yet, but in general, that would be kind of where we're at. So I, and kind of getting your input, and then also that of the district Return to Learn team, I would say for us, the only 2 things that I would say teachers could work on over the summer yet would be, some comfort, familiarity with Zoom, and then more experience working with sites, which I did tell Bill and Mindy that if this is the route we're going to go, offering either some recorded tutorials or like the classes that Bill's offering right now, offering something site specific in August would be a good idea. So that's kind of where we're at for the Return to Learn stuff. The diversity push and everything going on there, we talked about this quite a bit with the book study group and had a really pretty nice conversation. A lot of the conversation turned to the racial movement in across the country and how that connected to the book. But in general, I think a lot of people, the feedback I've gotten is, yes, there are opportunities for us to do more, and so we just need to make sure that we're supported and have a clear focus on what that is moving forward. And so I would say the focus is something that we are in the process of working on with Dr. Stutz getting a committee rounded up for alignment, kind of K-12, and that's also in alignment with the community and other entities to try and get input and ways that we can support students and families. So that's still, I would say, a work in process there, sir. Progress. And so we're working on that, but I think kind of the big one that I heard loud and clear was if this is going to be something we're going to do, which I think people agree that there are improvements that can be made, we just have to make sure that we're supporting teachers. And that was the general message that principals have talked about, is that we need to make sure that we are providing opportunities for these discussions and for these conversations amongst staff so that they're comfortable should different things arise. And so that's something that we are working on. I know during the book study, we talked about a little bit in early conversations, and this is not, drafted for PD plans or anything, but using the first hour of PD for specifically either diversity trainings, conversations amongst small groups, something like that, so that we can try and build those supports in place for PD sessions. And so that's an initial conversation and one possibility for doing so. So again, return to learn, kind of the diversity, racial movement, everything going on there. I will say, personally, I've started reading a couple different books on the topic, and so if you are interested, I can get those to you with some different perspectives. Principals are also doing kind of a mini book study where we just took a list of books, each person's reading a different one and then kind of talking about them. So if you're interested in other ideas, or it's an area that you would like more information on, I'm working on it, but not an expert. So just take a peek at this video, give me any questions, feedback, anything that you have, but do this on your time, and then let me know anything I need to know before Wednesday at 9 a.m. Thanks. Take care, everybody.